Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an amazing week so far. Today guys, we're going to be diving into Vechain. We've not covered Vechain in a little while and I know from an investment point of view just how frustrating it is to hold Vechain. Certainly when you're seeing other projects mitigate damage to the downside and actually start to pump a little bit sooner than Vechain does. We've covered this in other videos where we've really looked into the fact that Vechain is a laggard. Typically, we've looked at breakouts and recoveries from pullbacks and how the rest of the market tends to kind of lead. You know, many products out there have essentially come up and already made new all-time highs from this pullback that the entire market went through, obviously largely tethered and caused by Bitcoin. But Vechain tends to lag behind these projects, and it is all still to come, ladies and gentlemen. I like Vechain because of the underlying blockchain, not necessarily the price. I think the price is going to do exceptionally well, you guys know, and we are going to go over it in this video. We're going to be really showing you that everything's normal here, and that I'm still anticipating $1 to $1.50 price prediction for Vechain. But one thing I really like about Vechain, when I did a lot of looking into why they weren't on Coinbase and a number of other big exchanges, it was really not due to Coinbase not wanting to list them, but more because Vechain weren't really that bothered. That is a huge green tick to me because what that indicates is that this product is more focused on the use case, the blockchain, and getting it adopted in actual real world use case than just pumping the price. I mean, Coinbase would, there's no reason for them not to list Vechain. They're listing coins like Shiba Inu, which I really don't want to spend this video ranting about, but it's not. I think it's very responsible of Coinbase to do that on a number of levels, and that really goes to show that they're really just all about the money, all about the fees, all about what they can make off of a cryptocurrency rather than you know, looking at the underlying crypto and saying, look, is there real value here, which there absolutely is with Vechain. So this is a project that I'm super bullish on. I think everything looks perfectly healthy, guys. We're going to dive into it. We're going to be redoing our Elliott Wave theory, and I'm really going to be showing you that everything's fine. Yesterday, I accumulated crypto literally here. We came out and we made a video, and we kept you up to date on Twitter and on the channel with the kind of macro view for crypto, you know, looking at the crypto market as a whole, and said there was more downside to come. There still potentially could be. We will look at that towards the end of the video because you can't go into an individual altcoin without looking at Bitcoin if you're talking about price and the direction it might be heading, because if Bitcoin isn't permissioning it, it's not going to do it. If Bitcoin goes down, it will drag the rest of the market with it. So we are going to spend a bit of time at the end of the video looking at Bitcoin in relation to Vechain and the crypto space as a whole and where it's going. But Vechain had a pretty nasty sell-off, and this was obviously launched. We covered why the entire crypto market sold off due to Evergrande. Now, coincidentally, all of a sudden, you know, they've come out and said they're going to be able to service their debt. So it doesn't seem like that crisis that potentially was going to unfold with the Chinese economy is now going to do so. Bit coincidental, certainly, as we know that in regards to crypto as a whole, whales were heavily accumulating during this time period. Meanwhile, retail was scared due to the media that was put out. But hey ho, guys, you've got to try and mitigate these things, and that's why we always tell you to hodl on this channel, because that is a proven strategy in the crypto sphere. So Vechain essentially from this high here sold off a lot more significantly than many other altcoins out there. I mean, it sold off by 46%. This is what I mean when I say it's a frustrating project to hold. And this is a common trait of Vechain. I mean, here guys, in this pullback, we sold off by 8%. I think CARDANO was 66%, Bitcoin was 55%. You know, it sells off a lot more than other altcoins, but it also, that is mirrored to the upside as well as the downside, and we're really going to get into it in this video. What I want to spend a lot of time doing, guys, is looking at this macro structure that we have for Vechain. The fact that we do believe we're in Elliott Wave theory. You know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th wave. And we believe you're on your 5th wave, and you've essentially just made your first leg. And I'm going to be showing you that, reiterating it to you, just to really, straight from the outset, guys, put your minds at ease. You know, I bought, not only, of course, I didn't buy any, truthfully, I didn't buy any Bitcoin here. I bought altcoins. I'm not at a stage in my investing career where I'm buying Bitcoin. I have quite a significant bag of Bitcoin, and at these prices, it doesn't really attract me. I think Bitcoin's going to become more of an institutional game at this price. I'm more happy to accumulate altcoins that I know have real value, like Vechain, than I am to dive into Bitcoin. Back to what I was saying, just to really show you that this is absolutely normal, guys. I really want to highlight something for you. And this was, this is your one wave. Let me actually, before I do this, very quickly draw the Elliott waves that we have mapped out for you before we actually go on to, really kind of put your minds at ease. So this is your one wave, this is your two wave, this is your three wave. We've done this a lot of times on this channel, and you're now in your fifth and final wave, which I believe is going to take to that $1 to $1.50 mark. A very wide price prediction, just simply due to the fact that it's kind of hard to say exactly where it's going to fall. We did look at taking the percentage from this one wave and add it on. That got you to around about $1. I don't think it's going to be as big as the three wave. I think it's going to fall somewhere between. Also, the fib levels are kind of between that range, minimum $1. So we're pretty confident in that price prediction. And considering Vechain is at 9 cents, virtually 10 cents, that's a 10x from where you are today, guys, even if it only goes to $1. You're not going to get that kind of return on your investment anywhere other than the crypto space. So we're still exceptionally bullish. So this is the kind of roadmap that we've got for Vechain, and there's a number of reasons why we think you're on your fifth and final wave, due to the fact that you both of these pullback waves, your 2 and your 4, have played in a very similar manner, and essentially you are just coming out of your one wave going into your two wave, and I'm really going to show you that. I'm going to highlight that to you in this video. So we're not going to take it off log. I was going to take it off log, but it's going to make things a little bit simpler. We are going to take it off a logarithmic scale and look at it on a more of a smaller term time frame, just to really reiterate everything that I'm saying to you in this video. But if we look at, for example, this wave here, guys. So this was your two wave. Then you have your first wave out of it. So you have your first wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 4, 5, and then you get off the back end of that. Where's the ABC tool? Here we go. You get an A, B, C correction, ladies and gentlemen, to the downside. So you have your first wave out of this after this retractive wave going into your third wave. You essentially have this one wave coming back to your two wave. So you have this one wave here, two wave, one wave, two wave. You are close to finishing your two wave, ladies and gentlemen, which means the third wave would be to come. This wave typically will take you above and beyond your all-time highs initially. So you can see, what we'll do is you can see you have this one wave. Very common trait is it doesn't quite go past your all-time highs. One wave doesn't break past your all-time highs. One wave into your two wave doesn't break past your all-time highs. So Vechain is still, everything looks normal, everything looks healthy, everything looks bullish to me. You're just going through a correction right now. I mean, after every move to the upside, which Vechain did a 200% move, you've got to expect a return move to the downside, a pullback. This is how markets work. If they just continue to go up vertically, that would be cause for concern. What Vechain is doing right now is absolutely healthy, and in actual fact, I'm going to be taking the bet that it not only is it going to get to its all-time highs, but it's going to go and above and beyond. I'm actually going to open positions, although I don't recommend anybody tries to trade, but I am going to be buying and have bought yesterday Vechain for my hodl pot. We will cover Bitcoin in just 1 second. So you are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Completing your one wave within your 5 waves. So we've just gone over the 1 and 2 wave within the third wave. This is your 1 wave within your 5 wave. And then this, of course, is your A, B, and then C correction. You could potentially be finishing out your C wave. Let's take a quick look at the percentages from this wave here to the bottom of it. It's around about 36, 37%. So this has been more of a significant sell-off. Really, it's just due to the fact that, you had Bitcoin act so violently. And we are going to cover Bitcoin in a second, with the potential for more downside. There is absolutely still the potential for more downside. This, of course, is going to drag the market lower than it. I've weighed this up when I bought more crypto yesterday before the pump, and I essentially said, look, there is the potential for more downside. If we do go down, I think it's only going to be marginal. So I don't think there's going to be a huge loss incurred from where we are here or where we were here. I think it's going to be marginal and be very much similar to this here, where this was your kind of initial spike down, and then you just make marginal lows before you get that breakout. That's if we do go lower, that's the manner that I anticipate it going to. And this is all based on Bitcoin, not Vechain. Vechain to me looks great. And I think it'll be marginal before we get that break. I think this schematic here could be getting repeated. We've done a lot of analysis on it in other videos. So there is always the potential for that, but I think it'll be marginal. And ultimately, I understand the longer term goals, which is why I'm bringing up this Elliott Wave theory of Vechain. I think this project's going to do very well. And what I said at the start, I really want to reiterate again. This is a blockchain that cares about the blockchain and not the price. They really do. I mean, I'm so impressed by the partnerships they have in terms of partnerships and in terms of adoption. Vechain is almost in a league of its own. I mean, they are a real world blockchain. They are groundbreaking in many ways. This is a blockchain that I really, really like. The reason I got into Vechain initially was because they were different. They were tackling the supply chain area, or they were going after the supply chain market, and they've done an exceptional job of it. In China, they're exceptionally dominant over any other blockchain out there. And Sunny Lu, this is Sunny Lu, a tweet from Sunny Lu. I actually watched this video here. Talks about VET and VETHO. VETHO, we've not even got into the whole element that VETHO adds to Vechain, but we will do in other videos. This is what Sunny Lu said. Not to anyone, even to my mom or my dad, I never gave suggestions or financial advice, but what I can tell you is 90% of my assets are still in Vechain for sure. That's a huge tip for me, because what it shows is the head honcho of Vechain, Sunny Lu, the creator of Vechain, is all in Vechain. That's a huge vote of confidence. There's many projects out there, and I'm not going to name any, that don't even hold or they own a very small amount of their own product, and that's a big no-no for me, because it shows that if they haven't got confidence in it and they're the creators, you shouldn't as an investor. So I'm really trying to show you that everything's normal. These kind of sell-offs for Vechain are normal. I mean, if we take this sell-off over here on the kind of run-up, that was 46%. Of course, these are your big waves, so these are going to be violent. I mean, that was 85%, and this one was 63%. And of course, we know what happened in March 2020. But Vechain has these kind of volatile pullbacks. It's not a reflection of the product, it's a reflection of the overall market, and it's selling off, the overall crypto market. And this recent sell-off was largely due to financial markets across the globe selling off based on the Evergrande news, which now all of a sudden has kind of been flipped on its head and is looking like it's not going to be such a crisis that the media and everyone made out to kind of really scare retail. How are we wrong in this Elliott Wave theory? This Elliott Wave theory is in play until it isn't. If you come down and take this low here, you can't be in an Elliott Wave theory anymore, because your two wave can literally, these pullback waves can come nearly down theoretically to where you started your wave. They can't, bang on perfectly do it. That would be very worrying and be a kind of precursor to you going further down. As long as they don't go below it, they can come very close to it. As long as they don't go below it, you're fine. But once they go below it and they take out that and create that new low, the whole structure is invalidated. That's one reason we're so confident in this Elliott Wave theory structure, because it is playing out today and there hasn't been any contradictions yet. So this is where I think you are. You can also do it in this wave here. You can see you kind of A-B. We'll have to zoom in. It's not quite as clear on the daily chart if we drop into the 4-hourly, but I'll do it very roughly for you, just to show you that this plays out time and time again, ladies and gents. We're not using wicks, by the way, for a number of reasons. I think candle bodies are a little bit more accurate. Can you see this? So we're just using a basic A, B, and you got your C, and then you get continuation. And this plays out time and time again, and it's playing out today, ladies and gents. And what this means, if we're right, is that you've got the bulk of this to come. just from where you are now to your all-time highs. And remember, your next little impulse will take you past your previous all-time highs. So just from where we are today to your all-time highs, that's 189%. That's an amazing gain in what I believe is going to be a very short period of time, the span of a month or so. Remember, VeChain has done an awful lot today, and I think it's going to do an awful lot more. So that's really all I have for you in regards to Bitcoin. Very quickly, and in regards to the smaller time frame, it just reiterates what we're saying. I mean, this was sorry guys, this was your obviously your March sell-off. So this is your 1 wave, this is your 2 wave, and this is your 3 wave, and we'll just quickly put that over there. But you get what I'm saying. Ignore this over here. So this was your 2 wave pullback, and then this is your first little impulse here. And look how volatile it is, guys. We'll get it off log. Can you see this? And then this is obviously your 3 wave, 4th wave, and you're now on your 5th wave, and you're setting it up in the exact same way that you set up your 3rd wave. So I hope this is putting some of your minds at ease. Let me actually switch it very quickly to the log scale, put it on the daily, and just show you this. Another mind-easing thing to do is always overlay bar patterns, because if something looks similar, chances are it's probably going to repeat again. Just to show you how similar these are, ladies and gents. It's not going to be identical, of course, but what you're looking for is the structure. So you come up, you have this brutal sell-off before you see continuation. Sell-off could be over. I'm not saying it is. If there is, I was happy to accumulate yesterday based on the fact that if we do go down a little bit, it's going to be marginal. You know, what's 5-10% in regards to VeChain when I know where it's going? You know, even if it does sell off, I'm happy to eat that minus with the ideology that it's going to go higher afterwards. So that's really all I have for you. They had another a member join the team, Antonio Santor. I'm not going to try and properly pronounce that. This is an interesting figure. He's the CTO of ELLIOT, which is sharing the latest research, events, and more. ELLIOT Global and ELLIOT Network. So this is obviously a big, significant player within the crypto space, and VeChain now have them. He's a committee member for VeChain. So they're doing all the right things that you want to see from a blockchain. We're exceptionally bullish in regards to Bitcoin. There is absolutely the potential for more lower. You know, this structure here, I'll do it quickly for you, but we've already in our other videos gone into this in a lot more detail. Is very similar to where you are today. Of course, I don't actually, you know, there is a head and shoulders here for what I was showing people on here is that there is a head and shoulders pattern. I think it's to around about 37,000. So there is the potential that you bleed lower. This head and shoulders target was pretty much met perfectly here. There is potential that you bleed off lower before you set up structure like a falling wedge for a breakout. But I'm not worried even if we do go lower. I'd rather eat the red a little bit than have to accumulate. You know, once this thing moves and pops out, it moves fast. So I'm more than happy to eat a little bit more pain. So yeah, that's all I have for you in this video, guys. I hope that's put your minds at ease. It's a little bit more long-winded, a little bit more comprehensive than what we usually do for VeChain. We're not overlaying fibs. Everyone uses fibs nowadays, which it's kind of like, well, whatever. You know, if everyone's going to trade the same, look at the same thing and trade the same, that fibs work, by the way, the same way TA works. But, you know, we're trying to make things a little bit original, I guess. So that's really all I have for you in this video, ladies and gents. If you've enjoyed the content, like us, appreciated. So is a comment. And get subscribed to one of the fastest and realest growing YouTube channels out there. I look forward to seeing you each in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.